That breaking news right now, hundreds of people still under level 3 evacuation orders in the gorge. The Rowena Fire has exploded to 3,500 acres in just over 24 hours. It is 0% contained. At least 20 homes have been burned, leaving behind a trail of rubble and devastation.
We have some brand new video also showing the destruction in these neighborhoods. The fire only leaving behind the charred remains of abandoned homes and cars.
Entire communities are anxiously waiting for updates from fire officials. More than 40 people took refuge at an emergency shelter in the Dalles overnight. That fire is now threatening new ground with no sign of slowing down tonight.
Katu's on your side with minute-by-minute coverage of the changing conditions and what you need to know to stay safe. We'll break down what we know about the size of the fire and how fast it's growing. Our field crews will show you the damage of homes firsthand. We'll also hear from people who've lost everything, families forced to flee their homes. Plus, what we do and don't know about the fire's cause tonight. And we want to make sure everyone in an evacuation zone tonight knows to get to safety immediately.
We're working on getting a map pulled up for you that will show you the current evacuation orders right now. Just for a reminder, level 3 evacuation orders, that means to go now. There's a portion of the area, mainly along 84 and along Highway 30, but up into the hillside there, under a level 3 go now evacuation order. This is a live look from our Sawtooth roofing camera. You should leave your home immediately for that level 3.
And parts of the Dalles are under a level 2, which means be set to go. Other parts of Wasco County are under a level 1. Which is be ready.
In addition to the 20 homes burned, the Northwest Interagency Coordination Center says that fire is threatening nearly 2,200 more homes. The Wasco County Sheriff is telling people to stay away from the active fire area. The Oregon State Fire Marshal has mobilized 8 local task forces to battle those flames.
We are on your side with live team coverage of the fire tonight. K2's Shelby Slaughter spoke with those forced to evacuate. Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Dave Selesky is tracking winds and what's to come in the next 12 hours overnight.
We're going to start with K2's Christina Giardinelli live in Rowena. Christina, that neighborhood was ordered to evacuate less than 24 hours ago. What does it look like tonight?
Yeah, you know, right, officials tell us this area right here is where the fire started. I'm going to step aside so you can see the devastation left as those flames moved. We are right now still in a level 3 evacuation zone. Now, as a news crew with training and the right gear, we are allowed to be here, but this is still a very active zone. You can see as the camera pans over to the right, you'll be able to see here this hillside is still, you know, there's still billowing smoke at the top of that hillside. There's still active, you know, ash there, smoldering ash and smoke as well. And we are making sure to stay out of the way of crews still working on this fire. Now, where I am right now is just past the evacuation line where I-84 meets Highway 30. This here where I'm standing is Highway 30, and the road, many of the homes along this road were reduced to rubble, as you see right here, although some are miraculously still standing. I talked to Floyd Barber earlier today. He says his property is, many structures were burnt there, and he says he and his son stayed overnight to save what they could.
It started down there, and it was just here quick. I mean, I never had a chance to grab, you know, much of anything out of the house. I just took off. But luckily, I come back, and I mean, me and my son, we fought to save the house, and I managed to do that.
Did you stay here?
Yes, yes.
Why did you decide to stay?
Because I have no insurance.
Now, Barber and his son were able to save 2 buildings on the land, but his workshop and other buildings were a total loss. He tells me he made his last mortgage payment on his home just a couple years ago. Now, I did also talk to some other residents along this road whose homes thankfully were miraculously spared, but they do say their hearts are just with their neighbors right now in this small community of Rowena. Live for K2 News, Christina Giardinelli.
Christina, thank you. Now, Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Dave Selesky joins us now. Dave, what can we expect over the next few hours with this fire and conditions?
Now, more wind, unfortunately. I wish I had better news for those folks up there. We've got dry conditions, of course, throughout much of the region. Strong, gusty west winds coming through the gorge right now. We'll show you what's going on. I want to show you a couple different views. First of all, this is our view looking from Hood River down towards Rowena. You can still see that smoke plume down there, and again, some strong, gusty winds there as well. Now, we'll go up to this next camera. This is picking up our camera here. This is that Sawtooth roofing camera up on top of Stacker Butte. You can see how that smoke plume, because those very strong gusty winds, if we can maybe change that shot a little bit, how it's kind of laying so low down here, not allowing that smoke to rise vertically. That's again because those strong, very strong gusty west winds we're seeing in the gorge at this time. 79 degrees at current temperature in the Dalles this hour. And again, here's that smoke plume. So the current wind speeds now in the Dalles, sustained wind speeds at 24 miles an hour, gusting to 30 miles an hour, over 30 miles an hour. I have seen peak wind speeds past couple of hours in the Dalles, upwards of 38 to 40 miles an hour, pushing all that smoke off towards the east, out into parts of the Columbia Basin, headed out towards eastern Oregon. And again, until these winds settle down, firefighters are going to have their hands full battling this blaze and a couple of others that are also burning across the area. Now, the good news is, like yesterday and this morning, those winds will eventually taper off late tonight. But again, not until late tonight, likely after about 10, 11 o'clock this evening on our computer models. The problem's going to be again tomorrow with afternoon heating. Cooler air on the west side of the Cascades, warmer, less dense air on the east side of the Cascades. Those winds pick right back up again tomorrow afternoon, approaching wind speeds of 25, 26, 27, 28 miles an hour, perhaps even higher going into tomorrow on Friday. So the fire danger again remains very high in the gorge. Strong gusty west winds continuing, peak gusts between 30 to 40 miles an hour for the next few hours, and likely again tomorrow on Friday. Warm temperatures, low humidity. Bottom line here is, unfortunately, there is no change in that forecast anytime soon. Back over to you guys.
Okay, Dave, thank you. As we mentioned, there are still level 1, 2, and 3 evacuations in place. The American Red Cross is on site working with local emergency officials and partners to make sure people get the help that they need. Officials tell us 45 people stayed at the shelter in the Dalles last night, including pets, cats, dogs, even a turtle. Katu's Shelby Slaughter joins us live in Rowena off I-84.
And Shelby, when we say right off 84, you're safely next to an on-ramp.
Exactly right. And I just want to show you how close we are to I-84. You can see the charred land around here just even as the highway is still open and cars are driving by. And then if you go to the other side of the street, you can see the fire's destruction path, even these burned and peeling signs, and as that fire makes its way up the mountain. Now, even as you drive along the highway here, you can see the flames from your car, and it's devastatingly close to so many homes, which officials tell us at last check, 20 homes have burned down. So many people don't even know the status of their homes, as it's just too windy and hot from these fires for crews to go out and check. I spoke with one woman who got the warning to leave, and she wasted no time to get to the Red Cross.
My neighbor knocked on the door. My friend and I were sitting there just talking about past fires because it's fire season beginning. And my neighbor came and knocked on the door and told us there was a fire and we should get ready and go. And I went to the door and I looked out, and it was huge, and it looked really close to me because it was so big. But it wasn't as close as it looked, but it was at 2, so get ready.
Now, Christy Boyd tells me the important thing, she and her cat Alice are safe, and she believes her home is still standing as well. And you can just see how strong the winds are out here, which is helping this fire propel. And coming up at 5, we did speak to a man who unfortunately lost everything he owns. You'll hear that story coming up. Back to you.
Shelby, thank you. Governor Tina Kotek invoked the Emergency Conflagration Act, allowing the state fire marshal to mobilize firefighting forces to help battle this fire. Now, this morning on ARC PDX, we talked to the fire marshal on what the plan of attack is right now. He says crews are utilizing bulldozers and other heavy machinery to build fire breaks. Right now, they're focused on protecting homes on top of the ridge and along 84 in Rowena.
So we normally don't go and try to put firefighters in front of a fire like this, but we build, fire breaks and containment lines. So we hopefully when the fire gets there, it will stop or, go a different direction.
Fire Marshal says today is the biggest test for firefighters as they work against strong winds to get those containment lines going.
New information today is shedding light on how the fire started. The Northwest Interagency Coordination Center confirmed this morning it is human-caused. That does not mean it's an arson case. The update essentially says fire officials have ruled out lightning as the fire's cause. Nearly 85% of wildland fires in the United States are caused by people. Most are not intentionally set. The National Park Service has some reasons for human-caused fires. They include campfires left unattended, burning debris, equipment use and malfunctions, and cigarettes.